What's up everybody, Camero here. I just finished watching the Sword and Shield Pokemon announcement that they made today, and I got a couple opinions on it that I'd like to share with you guys. First, I gotta say I really like how large the towns are and just like the overall aesthetic that the game has. I'm a big fan of that like open countryside kind of vibe that it has going on. I'm kind of afraid of how large the wild area looks though. It looks kind of like open world single player MMO-esque kind of thing, and maybe I'm not into that as much, but like the routes that they showed all looked fantastic, and like the graphical quality is definitely up there. I'm just a big fan of the like English countryside kind of routes that they have, and I just want to go and explore those. I really want to walk around in all of those, man. Plus, the way that the game starts with you kind of like next to those like fields, it kind of feels like Pokemon Ethereal Gates, that fan game. If you haven't seen it, that's a really good fan game, and I don't know, I'm getting a lot of Ethereal Gates kind of vibes from watching the start of the trailer. It kind of felt like that at first, for me at least, because I mean, I played that kind of recently and it stuck with me. That's a good fan game. And then for the starters, they look fine. I mean, just seeing them all standing there together in a line is pretty cool. Seeing them like in 3D and the models all moving around like that makes me kind of like Score Bunny less, because he strikes kind of like a cartoonish, like Mickey Mouse kind of like, yeah, what do you want kind of pose. And I'm not as into that. I kind of like how Grookey's looking though. So I was already a fan of Grookey, or Grookey, and I think just watching this trailer made me like him even more, and I'm gonna go with him. I mean, Sobble's not bad either. Sobble's weird little hand nubs kind of freak me out though, and seeing them in 3D, it's like he's got little beans on like end of like sticks for his arms. And I mean, it kind of works for his feet, but seeing him move his hands around like that freaks me out. I mean, Grookey looks like he has little like orange gloves, so he's not much better. I mean, at least he has appendages. Whatever. I like Grookey. That's all. And then she does a fist bump with Score Bunny. That's pretty cool. Hopefully, I get to do a little fist bump with Grookey. I want to fist bump. I want to fist bump all my Pokemon, really. I think the thing I'm most excited for is just them running through the different maps and stuff, like the towns and the fields, and just running down into the first town. Everything. It looks so good. All the characters look so good too. I mean, oh yeah, another thing I want to touch on real quick, that song that they played is kind of horrible. I mean, it's the singing that really does it. The actual backing audio is pretty good, but wow, that singing. Could we just turn that down all the way? I like the designs of the new Pokemon that they showed. I don't like the evolution of the plant as much, but I do like the little sheep and I do like the turtle. The quality of the battle backgrounds is actually pretty amazing too. Looking at this, like seeing that one where he's fighting the trainer with the water on the beach and there's like the glacier and stuff in the back and all the ice. It seems like the way that they've like split up the biomes in this is going to be very interesting, where it could just go from desert to, you know, ice just like that. I don't know if they're gonna have them be too separate or have them like lead in naturally, but I'm kind of excited to see how it all works out. The big open world looks really impressive, but I kind of get the feeling that it's gonna feel like a single player MMO, and I kind of don't want that. I guess I'd have to get in and actually play it to see how I feel about it. Seeing Pokemon in the open world is nice though, instead of having them just jump you when you're in the grass. Being able to see them and interact with them, or kind of intercept them, is very similar to the last game, which was Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, where you actually see them in the overworld. So I guess that's the trend that they're going with for Pokemon games in the future now. Like, they don't like the random chance encounters, although I think they showed a random chance encounter earlier in the trailer though, so I guess there's still a mix where when you're in here it's kind of Safari Zone-esque and you're more likely to run into the Pokemon that you want, or like tracking Pokemon, whereas there's also traditional routes. I guess I'm okay with that. If they have traditional routes and the wild area, then they kind of like equally please both, whereas if they only had the wild area and no traditional routes, people who are fans of more of like the traditional style like myself would be a little bit alienated, wouldn't be into that as much. So yeah, I kind of like what I'm seeing. One more thought I just had about the wild area actually is I'm not a fan of the Pokemon that appear based on certain times and certain weathers. Hopefully it's not just you exploring the same kind of area and it having a multitude of weathers, because I always found that to be kind of inconvenient and choring to have to explore the same area but at different times to find all the Pokemon or different weathers, and the weathers have a random chance of appearing or something. I hope that that's not the case. It very well could be, but I personally am against having a multitude of weathers that have unique Pokemon show up to all of them. I'd rather just go to a new area and find the Pokemon there. But I don't know, it will be what it is, you know? Yo, they got wild Tyrannotars? I am so there. I want to catch a Tyranitar. I want to catch a Larvitar. That's like one of my favorite Pokemon. Damn, I was excited seeing that. The bike looks pretty cool too, and you can bike on water, or are they biking in shallow water? I don't know. I mean, that looks like it's kind of deep water. I mean, the Milotic, whatever, is going pretty deep down there, so I guess you can bike on water in this game. Confirmed? So the beacons are the raid battles, and when I first saw that, I thought, wow, this is Breath of the Wild. And seeing them now, I'm like, I don't know. The raid battles, I mean, I'll get into that a little bit more later. Actually, I guess I'll get into it now. So the raid battles seem kind of interesting. It looks like you and other people partner up and go into a portal. I don't know if you can see other players in the overworld, because it makes it look like the other people are there waiting for them, standing around it. So I don't know if you can move around with other players, like this is an online zone. But the cooperative raid kind of feature feels kind of inspired by Pokemon Go, or extremely inspired by Pokemon Go. They wanted to have people group up, take down a big target, and then try to catch the big target. I don't know how I feel about it, though. It's cool to have more cooperative options, but they did say that some Pokemon are going to be exclusive to this, which, I mean, I guess I will have to see how it all shakes out, but immediately my hot take, just looking at it, is like, I'm not as into it. I don't want to be forced to team up with other people in order to fill out the Pokedex, just because I'm a loner and I want to go catch all the Pokemon myself. I wonder how much stronger the Dynamax Pokemon really are, because based on the size difference, it makes it look like they're like 100 times stronger than you and they would kill you in one hit, but I wonder, is it just like a small stat boost that they get? But they're getting really friggin' huge. I'm afraid of like getting one-shotted by all of their attacks. Although they do have that like barrier that pops up to, I guess, reduce damage. Hopefully it doesn't like block the attack entirely. I guess that's kind of like the whole sword and shield vibe also. You got shields to block these large attacks, and then I guess the Dynamax is the sword where you buff up and do a large thing, so they got like a whole attack and defense paradigm here. I don't know what's going on. I mean, the way that they throw that large Pokeball is kind of cool. They like do like an overhand chuck, but I don't know, it just seems weird seeing your Pokemon inflate to like 100 times their size. It's interesting that that gym that they showed is kind of like a soccer arena. I wonder if that's going to be different for all of the gym leaders, where this first one's grass, so there's a lot of grass in the arena, so they make it soccer, where all the other ones are going to have different types of arena layouts. Maybe this is the first gym, so they went with a simple one, so it's just like a big, like, flat expanse. The gym leader looks like he has a man body and a child face, and it really freaks me out, but, I mean, I guess it's cool. Also, how are all of the people in the crowd not gonna die when these attacks are thrown out? It's like these people are... There's two giant Pokemon filling up the entirety of the arena, so any attack that hits one of them, there's gonna be some splash damage. Some people are gonna be set on fire. I mean, this is very dangerous. This is not very smart of them to gather around these two titans battling. It'd be like these people standing 20 feet away from a Godzilla on Godzilla fight, you know, like, you gotta get out of there. This is the danger zone. Also, I hope you get to customize your soccer jersey. I kind of don't like the look of the default one. It's interesting that they have like a camera flying around it also. It looks like it's a ball toy or a Rotom. Yeah, they got like weird Rotom cameras flying around you. I mean, I guess that's kind of cool. More like Pokemon lore, like tied into the world. I mean, I'm definitely a fan of that. And the champion looks pretty cool too. I like his design, although it's weird how he has like a reverse goatee where he has a beard and then a strip of nothingness down the center. I don't know about that, but I like his cape. That's kind of cool. He's got a pretty good design. Alright, now I'm going to break down how I feel about all of the different new Pokemon that they showed. Gossifleur looks fine, I guess, in terms of its design. I kind of like the red frills that it has, like, growing behind it. It almost feels like little, like, peppers coming out of the back, like a little bit of spice there, but its evolution, I don't like as much. What's the name of that one again? Eldegoss. Yeah, I don't know if I like that one as much, the Cotton Bloom Pokemon. We already had Whimsicott, but I mean, I'm not going to diminish this one's value just because there's another Pokemon that's similar that already exists, because there's plenty of turtle Pokemon also. But, I don't know. Something about seeing new Pokemon and the names of new Pokemon gets progressively weird, like, over the years, because I've played so many different fan games where people have made their own new Pokemon. And sometimes I like the names of Fakemon better than I like the names of already existing Pokemon. Or, sorry, of new Pokemon. Like, official Pokemon. Like, Eldegoss doesn't feel like a very good name to me, personally. I don't know. That's just kind of how I feel about it. The sheep, Wooloo, is probably my favorite out of all of them. It's super cute, and I want to protect it, and I want to see it grow up big and strong. I want it to evolve, and I want it to have a pre-evolution, and I want it to have a whole tree, and I want to have a pillow of it. I love it so much, and that's my take. That's all. I like the design of Dreadnought. I don't like his name very much, but he's a bite Pokemon, and, you know, I think we already had a bite Pokemon too, the T-Rex Tyrant and its evolution, like Tyrantrum. He's a biter also, so we got another bite Pokemon here. I like his design, though. He looks kind of angry, a little aggressive, and I'm always a fan of those designs where they have, like, the spiky, like, teeth mouths, where they, like, just jagged diagonals. I'm a fan of this guy's design. He's a cute little boy. I'm gonna pet him. And then the Raven Corviknight looks really cool too. I mean, the fact that he's like a flying raven with armor on is very cool looking. He's very serious. I wonder what typing he's meant to be. Is he flying dark? Based on, there was one attack that they showed in the video that made him look almost like he was electric or fire even. But he seems really cool. One thing that I'm kind of interested in is in the video they talked about Corviknight being like a flying taxi service, allowing you to revisit towns that you've already been to. Does that mean we don't have Fly? Or is this meant to be like a replacement for Fly? And I mean, I guess we didn't really have as many HMs. Well, no. Yeah, I mean, we've always had some way to like manually fly ourselves depending on like where we are in the world. So is this going to be a game where we don't have Fly, or is the Corviknight Taxi just going to take the place of Fly for the early game? Or maybe they're just something that is just a supplementary service that always exists in all of the towns. Either way, that was my first thought seeing the taxi. I was like, wait, do we not fly ourselves? What's going on here? He has a cool design though. I hope he evolves, or maybe I hope he has a pre-evolution. I would love to see a pre-evolution to Corviknight where it's just like a cute little armor bird, and then he evolves up and gets more armor. For all of these Pokemon, I want to see pre-evolutions for Dreadnought also. I want there to be like little cute baby forms of like everything. That's really what I want to see here. When they showed the evolution for Gossifleur evolving into, I forget its name again already because it's like Eldegoss, that's it. The evolution animation kind of felt basic. I don't know, it felt shorter and there wasn't as much like fanfare. Maybe it's just because it's a little demo, but like they didn't show like them flashing between the two forms. They just kind of went plop, okay, I'm done evolving. But I don't know, I mean, maybe it's a work in progress. So yeah, the wild area looks like it could be pretty cool, but I'm kind of like reluctant right now, or I'm not reluctant, but I'm kind of like cautious, like looking at it. Like, I wonder if there will be more depth to it or more exploration. I hope there is. There's gotta be. I mean, it's a Pokemon game. They're all about exploring these awesome open worlds. It's just, when I first see it, my first thought is, oh, it's another like single player MMO. You know, like if you've played Xenoblade Chronicles, Final Fantasy 15, a lot of games, I mean, Pokemon you could consider to be an RPG. I mean, definitely with like all of the different characters that you have in your party and the turn-based battles and all that. A lot of them are becoming more single-player MMO-esque, where they thrust you into an open world. You've got a third-person camera you can rotate around, and you encounter all of the monsters in the overworld. I'm not just saying that that's a bad design. It's just something that I didn't expect to see from a Pokemon game. And I much prefer the routes myself. I'm a huge fan of the routes and exploring those and like the intricate designs of them. To me, making a large open overworld like this seems like the designs are looser and not as like tightened. Like they didn't tighten the screws as much. They just kind of like gave you a big open playground. And as long as there are some like offshoot like subsection areas that you can go into that kind of feel like routes and kind of have more like involved challenges, then I'm all for it. I'm not against it. It's just looking at it, my first initial reaction wasn't overly excited. I was thinking like, is this going to be good? I hope it's going to be good. Because there are probably some people who are like, I get to run around in a field? Yeah! You know, like, I'm not as into that. I don't like running for 10 minutes from point A to point B. And if we have to use the Corviknight taxis, then going through this area might end up just being a hassle if the rewards aren't worth it. I hope they are worth it, though. I hope that it's fun. I hope the whole game is fun. The last thing I want is for anything to be bad about this game, okay? I'm rooting for it. I'm rooting for you. Alright, now I gotta talk about Dynamax, because this is the part of the video where they get into Dynamax. I think it's interesting, and it could be really good. I don't know if I have enough details right now to make up my mind about it, but it seems to me like they're combining Z-moves and Mega Evolution into one feature. Hopefully Mega Evolution and Z-moves are gone and Dynamax is the replacement. The reason I say that is because Mega Evolution and Z-moves and Dynamax all being available together in the same one single battle seems like it would be a complete clusterfuck. Dynamaxing is only for 3 turns. You power up, so you use it on one Pokemon. You can only use it once in a battle, so in that sense, it's very similar to a Mega Evolution. You can only use it on one Pokemon and you power them up. Cool, that's kind of like Mega Evolution. But what's different is this makes it look like you can do it for all of your Pokemon. It showed them using it on their starters when they were only in their first form still, so you don't have to be fully evolved to Mega Evolve. Like, you don't have to be Blastoise. In this case, you could have a Dynamax Wartortle or a Dynamax Squirtle even. So in that sense, it's more flexible, which I guess is nice. And then it also buffs up the moves that your Pokemon has to stronger versions of them. So in that sense, by giving you access to more powerful moves, then it's like Z moves. I personally wasn't a fan of Z moves because in the game that they were introduced, Sun and Moon, there were also a lot of trainer battles that only had one Pokemon. So you would Z move once, you would blow them up, and then that would be the end of the battle, and then you would repeat that. I'm kind of not a fan of the style of, like, let's throw out a one-time only usage super nuke, because oftentimes one time was all you needed. I'm not really the biggest fan of PvP in Pokemon games myself. I'm kind of a casual. I just want to play the story and I want to explore. I just want to explore a cool open world myself. So Dynamaxing, at least to me, in my ignorant knowledge of PvP, seems like a potentially more balanced solution. Every Pokemon gets to access it. They get buffed up slightly, briefly, and it's not forever. It only lasts 3 turns, and then they get access to slightly stronger moves. Kind of like Z moves. I don't know. Hopefully this makes everybody happy. Initially, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, I think this is stupid. But thinking about it a little bit more, I'm thinking this could actually be pretty good. They could. I think they could nail this. As for the raids, I don't really have too much more to say about it. I kind of hope that everybody gets the chance to catch the Pokemon, because that would kind of suck if you helped out in a raid and you didn't get the chance to catch the Pokemon, or you didn't get the Pokemon even though you fought them. Hopefully it's not a source of player frustration. It seems like it could be. I know that when you do Pokemon Go raids with people and you get the legendary, and you get the raid Pokemon and they don't, you know, the people who helped you would be frustrated or sad. So hopefully there's some sort of methods in place to alleviate that. I don't know how much I'll be doing these raids. I mean, I guess it depends on the rewards, you know. But initially, similar to looking at the wild areas, I'm hesitant when thinking about the raids. I'm not immediately like, oh yeah, that's amazing. Just thinking about it, you're like, could it be good? I hope it's good. That's my general, like, takeaway feeling for, like, most of this video. And then when they showed off the characters, I definitely really like Leon. I like his vibe, and I like his brother too, Hop. I don't know if his name, like, Hop is the coolest name, but I like both of their character designs a lot. I like how they both have kind of like cottony frills around their costume, and they both have purple hair and kind of like a serious but fun and playful expression. They look like very good characters, and I'm very excited to see how they turn out in the game. I like how Leon is wearing a lot of like soccer looking clothes, because I guess since he's the league champion, wait, I'm putting 2 and 2 together up in my brain right now. I guess all of the gyms are going to be similar to that soccer gym from earlier, where you challenge them in like kind of league soccer-y clothes, because the champion is sporting those too. So I'm just imagine all of the gym leaders having clothes like that. And another thing that's interesting to note is he has both a sword and shield on his chest. So I don't know if that's going to play into anything in the story, in the lore. He's got a cool Charizard. That's besides the point. Yeah, they're soccer boys. What else more can I say? Professor Magnolia looks like she'll be cool. She kind of reminds me of Agatha in her design also. She's got the like purple headband. She's an old lady. I'm just glad that they're doing an old lady professor, honestly. That's what I wanted to see. And then her assistant, her granddaughter Sonia, is a cutie. Although it must be kind of a pain to have that many weird like heart rocks in your hair. Like, wouldn't it be easier to just not have those in your hair? I don't know. I'm not an anime character. What do I know? Looking at the back of Leon's cloak is kind of funny, because it definitely looks like he's got a bunch of different sponsors. Like, he's actually like some sort of like athlete, or even then like in like an esports kind of, I don't know, like when you're on a team and you got all of the different patches for all the different sponsors. It's funny. It's a good touch. I like it. Yeah, the gym leader Milo definitely looks like a man-child. I like his hat though, like the green pattern on his hat, and he's got like a weird little like grass fluff around him. It just freaks me out. He's got this like big muscular body, but then the face of a child. Like, who decided that? It's making me uncomfortable here. One more thing, there's a couple parts where there are people pointing out the region map, and it looks pretty interesting actually. It seems like the region map itself has a lot of like, it's just like a straight line where you're going from the bottom, which appears to be the starting town, up into that like central town, which is that like big like clockwork tower. But then up further, there's another big town that looks like another big tower. And then you go through some like icy mountains, and then up north even further to what I can only assume is the like Pokemon Championship, Pokemon League kind of area. So it seems kind of like a straight line with multiple wild areas, I'm guessing, and then like things that branch out off of that line. So I'm not entirely against it, but I am interested in the fact that the region itself appears to be so like straight and narrow. Either way, I mean, it's definitely going to be something interesting to look at and kind of dissect. It doesn't look like a bad map at all. And then for the legendaries, my final takeaway is that I kind of don't like them. They look kind of boring. They are both just blue wolves. One of them with a sword one of them with a sword in his mouth, like Sif from Dark Souls, and the other one with a shield on his face. When I first saw the shield legendary walking out, I thought he was Solgaleo. Honestly, I was like, oh, it's Solgaleo, or he's like blue Solgaleo, or like color inverted or something. But yeah, the way that they handled the shield on the face and the sword in the mouth, I'm not the biggest fan of personally. I mean, maybe we'll see them fleshed out and look better later, but they're really just blue wolves. I don't know why they're fighting, but then later they team up. Like, is there some sort of like evil force that they have to like band together for, like a sword and a shield? I don't know. I don't know any of these details. I'm just speculating here. I'm spitballing. Holy crap, the game is releasing in November 15th? They're 5 months away. That's kind of insane. The covers look okay. The sword and they kind of look placeholdery with the sword and the shield. Maybe they'll be updated. I kind of don't like the way that the sword cover looks. If I am gonna get a game though, I was thinking of getting sword, but now I'm kind of leaning towards shield, just looking at these two side by side. But yeah, that's crazy. We're 5 months away now. Wow, I'm definitely gonna play these. I don't know if I'm gonna get the double pack though. The fact that you can pre-order them both right now, like damn, Nintendo was making some money right now. But yeah, I'll buy sword, shield. I don't know. I still have to make up my mind here. All in all, my final opinion on the game is it looks pretty good. I'm very excited to explore the towns and explore the world and see what's going on there, and I want to see more of the Pokemon designs. I think a lot of the original designs that they showed off are very good, and I think that bodes well for the future of the game. The game looks good. There are some things that I'm concerned about, namely how Dynamax balancing works, how the raids will end up, and how robust the wild area is. But all in all, I gotta say I'm pretty excited, and watching this video made me want to buy the game more, not less. I'm in it. I mean, I was gonna buy it no matter what anyway. I mean, I'm a fan of Pokemon through and through. I mean, I've played all the mainline games, and these games look to be very good. I like the aesthetic, but we'll see how they execute on it. Thank you all for listening to me rant and ramble about this new Pokemon trailer that they put together. I appreciate you sticking around and listening to me and just watching my videos. And I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.